Hello friends, welcome to the Blockthrasher Daily Morning Update. It is February 6, 2021. It is a great day for crypto. We're continuing to enjoy this bull run, which has been happening now for a couple of months. Market is looking very, very good. These are exciting times. Today we're going to do a quick market overview. We're going to see where prices sit, and then I'm going to talk to you about blockchain gone bad. This is a fascinating story about how decentralization can, if it's not done right, become centralization and the inherent problems with that. So let's jump over to the market and take a look. We are sitting at $1.19 trillion for total market capitalization. That is up 3% in the last 24 hours. It had hit 1.2 trillion just about an hour ago, but has dropped a little bit since then. Volume is at 202 billion, which is up 8.76%. Bitcoin is up 4.9%, looking great. It just shot back through that $40,000 barrier and now is at $40,164.71. Ethereum continues to do well. It's actually dropped 1.87%, but is still near its all-time high, which was just over 1,700, sitting at 1,681. XRP is down 1.92% at 43 cents. Polkadot down 3%, $20.03. Cardano up 7.24% in the last 24 hours at 53 cents. Binance Coin, BNB, it just took off overnight, up 25.1% at $74.79. Dogecoin getting a little bit of a pump again, not really a pump I wouldn't say, but up 7.75%, sitting at 4.9 cents. And that covers the market wrap up. Now, I want to talk to you guys about a problem that occurs within the internet today, and that is censorship, deplatforming, privacy, and just how blockchain technologies might have a way or provide an opportunity to help solve the problems inherent with centralized system. What is the problem? The problem is censorship, deplatforming, abuse of privacy, demonetization, and selling data to third-party advertisers. That is the problem. What happens is, on most popular platforms, social media platforms, the users actually become the product. These companies make millions of dollars every day selling users private personal information to advertisers, and then they display those ads to the users in their feeds. At the same time, the content creators on those platforms, which is either the user but also our users, the content creators are sometimes censored if they talk about things that the platform doesn't approve of. They didn't either demonetized, unable to make an income from the ads that the platform is providing, or they are totally deplatformed completely and shut off. We saw that recently occur with a platform, Parler, which was shut down and deplatformed. So lovers of free speech, of course, they sort of cringe at this a little bit. But currently, these platforms are protected legally by Section 230. It has two key provisions, which the first shields it for them, these companies, from liability for most of the material that is put onto their platform, right? So they cannot be sued if criminal language or behavior occurs on their platform. They're protected from that. But then at the same time, they're also protected. They have legal immunity concerning any content that they take off as part of their moderation process voluntarily. So, what if one could merge the censorship resistance of Bitcoin and the file sharing technology of BitTorrent and combine all of the technologies into a decentralized app that would allow an experience that would protect free speech, but also allow users to be paid for their activity rather than making them a product, rather than making money off of them and their activity on the network and selling their information to third parties for advertisements, what if the users could get paid, and at the same time the content creators could get paid, and then the users could give tips or pay or support the content creators that they like that create good content? Sounds fantastic, does it not? Well, this has been tried. And there's an interesting story about an instance in which it was tried and failed, and that is with Steemit. This is the Steemit site, and if we look at the Steemit site, you will quickly notice that a lot of the posts in the top most popular posts are in Chinese or Korean or other languages, Mandarin. And that's because this site, there's a very interesting story behind Steemit, and I want to share that story with you. So Steemit was created by Ned Scott and Dan Larimer. Dan Larimer has been in the cryptocurrency space for a long time. He's also the creator of BitShares. They created Steemit to be a new kind of social media platform that would do all of the things that I was talking about, that would allow users to upvote content that was created by content creators, and when the users did that, the content creators would receive a tip or earn some Steemit, and the price and they would earn something for the content that they were created. Fascinating. And then as the users were active on the blockchain, they also would get paid in the same way. But what happened was, when this was created, those two launched the blockchain early. It was supposed to be launched at a certain date and a certain time. But in March, on March 23rd, 2016, the blockchain was started, the Genesis block was created, and millions of coins were created for the founders in that first week before, or I should say, I don't know that it was a week, but were created for the founders before the launch was announced publicly and everyone was able to jump on and start earning the token, right? So what this did was this created essentially a centralized platform that was supposed to be decentralized, because the way that the Steemit system works is that there are witnesses which vote to make changes to the chain. So this ended up opening up the door for some crazy drama to occur. In the end, Steemit would be riven in two. Despite that unfortunate beginning, Steemit quickly began to blossom and bustle and become an active community. There were more than 1 million people who joined, with around 4,000 of them posting daily on everything from technical analysis to discussing Steam's most popular game, Splinterlands, and the blockchain began to grow in value too, to the point where it became worth $1.9 billion in total market cap. In late February 2019, Tron Foundation CEO Justin Sun, a young Chinese millionaire and outrageous marketer, decided that he wanted to acquire Steemit. And so he began to conspire on a way to do this. Larimer, the original co-founder, was long gone by this point. And so Sun made a deal with Scott, the original CEO, and offered just shy of $8 million to buy those coins that had been mined. We call it ninja mining. They called it ninja mining, that early mining that occurred when they had launched the chain and not told anybody else about it. So he purchased, Justin Sun purchased for just less than $8 million that ninja mine stake, which would then allow him to have enough stake in the total, or enough total shares of Steemit to take over the chain. Though the number of tokens had dwindled and the stake now represented some 30% of the token supply, it was easily enough to establish a massive voting share in Steem's on-chain governance system. So Steemit was an example of a good idea that had gone bad. And the reason it was able to go bad was because of this ninja mine that occurred. They had built into the system a really great governance system in which the users, the holders of Steemit, would be able to, through witnesses, vote to make changes to the network. However, because of that ninja mine, it was possible for one wealthy individual to get a majority share, basically, and essentially take over the network. And I would encourage you to go read this story from decrypt.com, .co, and I will put a link to it in the descriptions for this video. This whole thing basically turned into a war, a cryptocurrency war. And so there was a rebellion with the Steemit users. And this led to even dirtier things happening, where at one point Justin Sun was able to convince the Asia exchanges, including Binance, to use the coins that were on their exchange to give him even more power to make changes to the code, which he then did, and was able to actually not only lock people's accounts up, but even take the cryptocurrencies and Steemit out of their accounts and send it somewhere else. All of this basically led to a mass exodus. And one of the original creators, which this article talks about in the very beginning, by the name of Notestein, created a new chain and a new project, which is called Hive. And what they did was very fascinating, was everyone that was on Steemit who held Steemit coins would receive a similar amount of Hive coins in an airdrop. But they cut out Justin Sun, and they cut out all the people that were supporting him, and they went and they started this new project, and they made sure that when they started it, that it would be properly decentralized, that there would be an even distribution of coins amongst the users, and that there wouldn't be the possibility for any one entity to take over the entire chain and get control to their advantage. Another option, another platform that has been taken over and is now under the control of Justin Sun and Tron is DLive.tv, which is a Twitch alternative. It's actually a really cool site, and they're doing some amazing things, but it's something to watch because it is now under the influence of Justin Sun. So this is Hive. Hive is a blockchain, it's an ecosystem which has a number of decentralized apps running on this system. Very similar to how Steem was, you have PeakD, which is what was initially created. I'll pull that up here. It's essentially a blogging platform, just like Steemit was, but with proper decentralization. And so it is a good, and you can find my content on PeakD. I'm using that as well. So the way that this works is that there's a blockchain that runs this system, essentially, but people are free to create user interfaces to connect to that. And this would be another example, eSensei. eSensei is an interface that's going to have all the same data that gets posted to PeakD on it, and it runs on Hive. And then you have hive.blog, which is similar as well. So this actually, what very interesting, when this happened, when Hive was created, it quickly surpassed Steemit in a number of users and in total value, and it's doing really, really well. And so now we have a useful system. There's a few others that I want to introduce you to just quickly that are similar. Leofinance.io is another interface to the Hive blockchain and ecosystem, and it is more of an aggregate on content that is being created for the cryptocurrency community. So if you go there, you're going to see that crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, just in the top menu. And so it's a little bit more narrowly focused, but it's still running on Hive. And so what's kind of neat about this is when you create an account on the platform, on Hive, everything you do is is on all of these different access points and interfaces. Another option is called Mastodon. Mastodon is a blockchain-driven open source social media platform that, just sort of like Hive, is a blockchain-driven platform, but anyone can actually create an interface to it. So you could get your own domain name, you could set up your own Mastodon servers, and you then can create your own Mastodon community where you can moderate it as you will, as you wish, if you're the creator or the founder of that particular Mastodon instance that is running. But in the same way, it also can connect to all the other Mastodon nodes that are out there that are running. So it's something to look at as well. There are others. Minds.com is another, and I'll talk more about these later. Today I don't have time to do a deep dive into all of them. We'll do a deep dive sometime eventually. Float.app, which is more of a Twitter type of alternative that runs on blockchain. It's one to check out. Library.tv. Library.tv is doing some fantastic things. I really, really like this platform. In fact, Library.tv is a protocol. Library.tv is one that I've actually looked into, and I'm about ready to do a deep dive. But what I can tell you LibraryTV is doing, has done, and is doing right is it runs on the blockchain, and the blockchain is where the database is stored. And so it's decentralized, it's distributed out across the world, running on, it's a proof of work blockchain, right? Just like Bitcoin. It uses its own algorithm, but it's very close to script. It's called Library. But miners are using proof of work around the world to create that security similar to Bitcoin's, where it's not centralized. There is no server that can go down. There's no person that can flip a switch or whatever. So the addressing system to where your content is, where your video is, where your podcast is, where your article is, where they have images. You can put all types of media into the library.com system. The addressing of that, where it is stored, is handled on the blockchain. Then what they've done is they've merged the P2P technology, like BitTorrent. Remember back in the day we had Lime and we had Napster, where people were sending music files and stuff back person to person over the internet. Well, that's how the LibraryTV system works. So they've brought the blockchain technology for the database and for the addressing of everything. They brought peer-to-peer in, so that there's no web host, there's no AWS, Amazon servers, there's no that can be taken down, right? You can actually partake in this network, and you can be a file storage provider. When you create content, if you leave your computer on and running, you're actually serving that content up, and you're seeding it, just like you would be with any of the I'm kind of blanking on the idea right now. Torrent, basically, BitTorrent type of systems. Right? So basically what happens is when you upload a video or other type of document, it gets cut into little pieces. They call them blobs within Library. And then these pieces reside encrypted and chopped up on your computer, but not just on yours. When someone else watches your video and downloads it, if they remain connected to the network, it then gets served out by them. These little blobs get sent out. So it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. So Library's brought all of that together, and they've created a system in which content creators can be tipped. They can also charge. So you could literally host a movie, and you could sell it for some library tokens, and your users could pay in that way. Or when almost anything you do, all types of activity, when you invite people here, when you write a comment, when you upload, when you view, users actually get paid in the cryptocurrency, in the library token, which is at like 10 cents right now, for viewing content. It's ad-free, unlike YouTube. So it's and some of the other platforms. So it's an incredible platform, and I'm a big supporter of it, and I'd love to see where it goes. And as you can see, obviously my content is being distributed there now, and I would love to have you guys join and support me there as a follower. There's a number of ways to access it. Similar to Hive, there's different interfaces. You can go to library.tv. They also have applications that you can download for desktop and for your phone. But another interface, which I think they're actually trying to push more, is Odyssey, odyssey.com. And it's just a beautiful graphical user experience for all of the same content. So I will put a link in the description, And I would encourage you to go there and become a member, sign up, and find me and follow and like me so you can continue to receive my content. Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this, and look forward to spending time with you all more and doing everything I can to help you understand cryptocurrency as best as we all possibly can. Have a great Saturday, and remember, it is always a great day to earn more crypto. Thank you, friends. Talk to you soon.